coffee bar in Olympic Valley. This is I Run Far live at Western States. It's happy hour, Thursday. It's about 36 hours to the start of the 2018 Western States. We're here with François D'haene. How's it going?
Fine, happy to be here. Just hello everybody.
So, François, you're obviously a man who needs no introduction, even here in the U.S. One of the great champions of our sport. So, it's an honor to have you here in the U.S. and running Western States again. You have a short history at this race. In 2015, you had a somewhat difficult 14th place finish, and then in 2016, you had a foot injury, if I'm not mistaken, that kept you from even starting the race, even though you traveled all the way out here. So, and in thinking about your career in the last 2 or 3 years, those are some of the only blips on your resume, some of the only races that you haven't won. And so, I guess my question for you is, what have you learned from your experience in 2015 and your disappointment in 2016 that you think will help you be successful this weekend?
Successful this weekend, I hope, but we never know with ultra trail. So yeah, I learn a lot, but I learn like in each ultra and every year, every day. But I think I was a little bit unlucky, but I think there's more things than just lucky thing or not lucky thing. I think I have always the same season each year, and I think a little bit tired end of June. So that's why I think okay, I jump on a rock and I break a bone. So you can say it's not lucky or lucky, you break it. It's not your fault, but maybe if you are more tired, maybe you break it. And in 2015, I think I was really in good fit because I was lucky to run with Rob Power until Forest Hill. It was really impressive, and you were in the race. It was incredible.
It was incredible, yeah.
And I was really happy to have this experience with him. But then I have a big stomach problem that I discovered it like 1 month later. So maybe that's it. Maybe I was tired. I don't know. But that's why this year I try to change it a little bit. So I don't plan some big race like you in April. I just plan to make some more easy race in April, just to plan to prepare a little bit differently. And in May I take like 2 or 3 weeks just rest, and then I go back and running. And normally my preparation is a little bit different. And now this race is very, very different from our ultra trail. Even it will be long, sure. The terrain is not the same, and the temperature is really not the same. So I don't know if I can beat the warm and I can make a good race here. But I try to put all the chance with me this year, so I try it. So now we will see. I hope it will be okay. If it's not okay, I have a lot of pleasure in my preparation. I'm excited to be there. It will be a nice adventure, and I think we both and you too, we made this sport just to like this kind of adventure. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm just happy to try it.
Good.
Can I ask you about, because this race is so different from ultra trails in Europe, with the heat and it being a much more runnable course, how have you adapted your training and your preparations specifically for Western States this year?
I try to adapt it, but for the heat, I try to go. In French, we were not lucky because it was not warm at all this June, so I cannot train a lot in like warm temperature. I was a little bit in Corsica, so it's a little bit more warm. But I try to do like maybe 10 or 20 saunas since April. So for me it was hard because I'm not useful with that. So at the beginning I was like just 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and at the end I was like 30-35 minutes. So I think something's happened a little bit in my body. So I hope it could be maybe better in the warm on Saturday. And then for the training, at the beginning of the year I said okay, I have to train more on flat. I have to train more like how fast I can be on the flat, but I don't like it. So I think a lot about that, and I think that my way to train is my way to train. I have to keep it. Maybe it could be something better for me in the ascent. And yeah, I think it's my you have some defaults, you have some faculties, and I try to keep my faculties. So yeah, I train a little bit more on the flat, but I don't change a lot my training because it will be, even if it's more fast, it's a long race.
Yeah. Well, I think that's interesting, and I think a lot of people think about you obviously as a world-class mountain ultra runner, races like UTMB, and I think people forget that you actually have done well in faster courses, including finishing second at the North Face 50, which is one of the most competitive races in the US every year on very fast terrain. Do you feel like this course, do you feel disadvantaged on this course compared to guys like Jim or Tim who live and train in Flagstaff with more flat terrain and hotter temperatures? Or do you think you have the capability to run as well here as you do in the mountains?
I think I can have the capacity to run here like in UTMB, because we mustn't forget that it's an ultra trail. An ultra trail is always very long. You have to adapt. You have to do many things. And finally, it's incredible. But it's just 11 kilometers. So I'm not sure I can run like a 10K in 30 minutes or 41 minutes or 42 minutes. I'm sure I can't actually. but I'm sure it's not necessary for that race. But what is hard for me is just that you have to run and run again. In the Alps you have to run maybe fast, but then you can walk and run, then walk, then run. And I think I'm better when you have to change everything for your muscle, and this is what is hard for maybe the other runner. This is what I really like, because in my training I always ascend, descend, I can walk, I can run, I can climb, and here you have to run and run and run and run again. I think this will be hard. The race pace for me doesn't. I don't think it will be hard to follow it, because it will be like 14 kilometers by hour.
Yeah.
I can do it not easily, but it's not the problem. The problem is that you have to run sometimes during like 5 hours without stop.
Without walking break.
Yeah. I think this is more hard than how fast is it. Running in 30 or 41 minutes, I think it's not necessary for that race.
I want to ask you about your relationship with the United States. You've come here to run so many times now. You've come for Western States now 3 times. You've come for the North Face. You've come to run the John Muir Trail and have a vacation around the US. What's the deal with you and trail running here?
No, it's a big country, so you have many things to discover. And I was mainly in the west part actually. So I really would like to discover the north part and some other place with some nice mountain. In Colorado, it was just one time. It was just amazing. I really would like to come for New Beer Miles in Colorado. I think it's a very important place. Yeah. No, I really like it. When I go back there, I just remember the John Muir Trail with this blue sky, with this kind of mountain. Even when you take the highway from San Francisco from here, when you are at the pass, it just everything is big. Everything is so nice. The trees are different. The rocks are different. I really like it, and I was really in love with the John Muir Trail. I speak with you like 2 days after. I was just like in dream, and I really enjoy it. So I like the Alps, but it's different. It's more like secret. It's more ice. More maybe it's different. And I think here for running it's very nice, and people are more like relaxing, more cool. It's less stressful. The week before UTMB, you can feel it in Chamonix. It's totally different. Here you are like 2 days before Western States. You can work here. You can go in a restaurant. It's easy. For UTMB, I can't do that. So I'm really happy to be there and have the possibility to relax a little bit.
And like on that subject of UTMB and the John Muir Trail, of course, you're the 2017 champion of the UTMB, which was one of the most incredible performances I think we've seen in a generation. And then doing the John Muir Trail, what was it, only 4 or 5 weeks after, 6 weeks after what was an incredibly difficult, I'm sure, 170 kilometers around Mont Blanc. How did your body and mind respond to those 2 huge efforts back to back? And have you had to take a lot of downtime after the John Muir Trail?
This I think this is why I actually think that it's really important to keep my normal job, and my family, and my normal life, and a social normal life, not like an athlete life. Because after UTMB, it's depends each year, but this year I have to be at the vineyard for like 30 hours after UTMB to prepare the harvest, and I have a very full week with that, and I cannot sleep a lot, and I was really tired after that, even more than UTMB. But I can't think during this week about running, about try running. So normally the week after UTMB, if you are like an athlete life, you always have interview, you think about that, about your recovery, good physio. For me, it was impossible for me. So I think for the body maybe it was not so good, but I'm not sure. But for the mind, I'm sure it was just perfect, because I was totally out of that. And then 10 days after UTMB, I was, I think, ready again to, okay, I want to be in the nature, in the mountain, and run again. And if I have not this 1 year stuff, I'm sure I was again in I should be again in my UTMB, and it was not like that. So I think it's important for me to keep this family stuff, social stuff, and everything. And yeah, John Mutai, I don't have many possibilities, because you know it's very long.
Right.
So if I plan it before UTMB, I'm not sure I will be able to run UTMB. And so after October this year, it's sometimes very cold. So I speak a lot with you about that, and you say me, maybe it's okay, maybe not, you will see. But finally it was just this sky like that during like 2 weeks. It was just perfect.
The only problem was the long night times and short days.
Yeah. True. And during the night it was really cold, but at least there's no one on the trail. It was really nice.
Incredible.
But yeah, I think the recovery is just because my mind recovered very well.
Just when you go home and you're on the vineyard with your family.
And then we come here with 7 friends, so I say, okay, even if I cannot beat the record, I'm just here to have maybe one of the biggest adventures in my life with my friends. It's an incredible place, so I say, okay, I start. If I do 3 days, I do 3 days. If I do 8 days, I will do it. It's not a problem. I will be happy at the end. And when you start in these like feelings, for sure, your body answers up very well. So
I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Francois, thank you so much for coming. It's great to have you here and racing in the U.S. And
it was nice to have a champion interview with you.
Stop it. No, but best of luck this weekend, and enjoy a nice long adventure here.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy to run like with Jim and some other guys from Greece and all the cowboys here.
Yeah.
I think it would be really nice to see them again, to see some other athletes, and how it's enthusiastic to win that race. It's incredible when you pass in Forest Hill, you see how many people were there. Maybe there's more public than runner. It's just incredible that race. And there's something special around that race, and it's really nice. So I'm really happy to enjoy it with you.
Good.
Well, let's have our live audience give Francois a round of applause.